What's going on, Brappers? Welcome back to Brap Mode. This is your host Singh, coming to you with another very informative video. If you have not joined the Brapper community yet, please do so by hitting the subscribe button down below. It's free and you will never miss another video. And those of you that have already subscribed, welcome back. Very happy to have you here with us again. Today we will be starting a brand new series called Giants Riding Motorcycles. That's right. The goal of this series is to help the tall riders like myself make an informed decision for their next motorcycle purchase. It is extremely difficult for tall riders like myself to find a motorcycle that is comfortable to ride. So with this series, I hope to cover a variety of motorcycles for you all. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you want me to continue this series, let me know by hitting that like button down below. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get right into it then, huh? Today we will be reviewing the XSR900 seating position. Let's start with my dimensions first. So I am 6'5", 192 pounds with an inseam of 34. I usually wear a 34 by 34 jeans. In terms of my arms, I usually wear a shirt size, sleeve size 36. And my feet, I usually wear a size 13. So hopefully that gives you enough information to compare yourself to my size. So let's get into the motorcycle. Let's talk about the comfort. Let's get started and let's talk about the legs, the overall leg angle and its comfort. In my opinion, overall, it isn't too bad compared to some of the other bikes. You don't feel too cramped in this motorcycle. Again, I'm 34 inseam. I do have a couple of issues to report, however. Starting with the frame sliders here, if you take a look at my knees and the distance from my knees to the frame sliders, it's only about 2 inches. It isn't an issue when you're kind of riding day to day in a relaxed seating position. It's totally fine. But when you do go riding aggressively, it definitely is an issue, especially when you're shifting back and forth from one side to another, going into a left turn, going into a right turn. I constantly find myself either rubbing on the frame sliders or actually hitting my knee on the frame slider. Can you imagine going down the turn, going over to lean and banging your knee on the frame slider? That does completely throw you off. So definitely an issue here if you're planning on putting frame sliders on your motorcycle on this XSR900. So like I said, it's not an issue on the day-to-day ride, but it will get annoying when you're going out for an aggressive ride. So just be cautious of that. Also, just to point out, as you can see, my legs don't really fit into that cutout of the tank here. Maybe it's just for design, just for looks, but just wanted to call out that my knees are going way past that cutout point here. So not an issue in terms of comfort. It doesn't really bother your legs or anything like that. And especially when you're squeezing your tank, you don't really feel that cutout digging into your legs. So it's not a comfort issue. Just wanted to call that out if you guys wanted to know. Now let's move down a bit. Since we have long legs, we do tend to flare them out in front of us instead of placing them right beneath us by the foot pegs. It really isn't an issue on a twin or on a super bike with fairings on, but with this triple, it's definitely an issue. As you can see, you are constantly touching the engine case here, and that's on both sides. And this issue will persist on any of the motorcycles that run this triple. So, FZ09, the Tracer, etc. So any bike that's running this triple, you're definitely going to have an issue with this. As the engine gets hot, it will burn through your pants, especially the fashion pants. So jeans or your pants that you wear to work or your casual day-to-day, as I am here, it will burn through it, especially if it gets extremely hot. Now let's keep moving down a little bit more. Looking at my feet, like I said, I wear a size 13. There aren't any issues to report on the gearing side of the motorcycle. However, on the braking side, I constantly find myself resting my foot on the exhaust here. So this is a Leovinci exhaust and I constantly rest my foot on it. It's not an issue in the short term, obviously, but as I'm adding weight and pushing down with my foot, I can see it causing issues in the future. So keep a lookout for that. I don't think it's an issue with the stock exhaust because it is a shorty, and if you put an exhaust that kind of goes under the bike, it won't be a real issue. But for this full kind of system classic look that sweeps back to the rear tire, it is definitely an issue, so I just wanted to call that out as well. Now let's move up to the upper body, including the arms and the hands. Like I mentioned, my shirt sleeve size is 36, just for your comparison. Now, if I'm sitting casually, pretty hunched back, just kind of sitting back, relaxed, my arms are pretty much straight and my elbows are locked. However, I don't usually ride like this. I tend to sit up straight, or I might lean forward just a little, 2 to 3 degrees a little bit, so my elbows aren't locked. So generally speaking, my elbows don't really lock, but if I am hunched back, just kind of sitting back, relaxed, they are locked in this case. A quick tip for the beginners watching this video: please do not ride with your elbows locked. It bothers me so much when I see these kids riding super sports and they're literally trying to sit up straight and their elbows are pin locked. You don't want to do that because you want to be flexible, you want to be quick, you want your elbows to be not locked so you're able to move around as quickly as possible. And when you lock your elbows, you're kind of limiting yourself there. Anyways, back to the topic in hand. So with the standard handlebars, it's fairly easy to reach them and it is comfortable in this position. The good thing about this bike, however, though, is obviously you can customize it. You can simply swap out the handlebars, whether you want to lean forward, get a lower ones. If you want to sit up even more, get a taller one. So this bike is pretty easy to modify your upper body position however you like it. So I don't think it's crucial to not being able to fit on the stock handlebars. Awesome. Let's summarize. So for my frame, the bike is relatively comfortable. I don't think I'll be able to ride it for long stretches, but then again, this bike is not meant for that. For in-town or short commutes, it's a perfectly comfortable bike for me. Like we discussed, it does have some issues like the frame sliders, the engine being so wide, and my foot resting on the exhaust. However, I don't think there are deal breakers, at least for me. Now, if you're taller than me, it will most likely be uncomfortable. 6'5" or 6'6", maybe the max at its stock form. If you are taller and still want this bike, you will have to modify. For example, you could get a taller seat, taller handlebars, lower foot pegs, etc., just to kind of get a little bit more distance between the seat and the pegs and get a more comfortable seating position with the handlebars. But if you really want this bike, you can really tailor it to yourself. But in its stock form, 6'6" or even maybe 6'7" is the max I would go on this bike. Thank you all for staying till the end. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please let me know by hitting that like button. But if you didn't, still let me know by hitting that dislike button. But if you can also leave a comment, let me know what you didn't like about the video and how I can improve in the future. That would be very helpful. That's it for me today, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.